Hey guys, welcome back to Just Talk TV. We're on segment 2 now, we're a special episode today, and previously we talked about the El Clasico preview. Now we're going to talk to an actual Madrista, all right, the official Los Blancos community member, Hanif, about how he feels about Real Madrid this season. So I just want to say, like, as defending champions of the La Liga, going into this season, a lot of expectations. First off, how did you feel about winning the championship last year?
I mean, that was unpredictable actually. I mean, I didn't expect that. Clearly, the break really helped. I mean, Real at that time. I mean, we were not coming off from a really good season, but then once the break hits and everyone surprisingly kept up their shape and form, and the team's spirits was very much quite high at that moment, and. But I mean, and Barca on the other hand took the complete nosedive, and you can see Messi fighting with the ball and everything, which led to Suarez leaving also. That proved to be it was rocket fuel, to be honest, for Real Madrid at that time. And I bet I would pay $1 million if I have $1 million to see the Real Madrid WhatsApp group. I bet they were sharing links every single day, and so yeah, it was unpredictable. And you know what? That was the best part about the whole last season. They win it with a few games left.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you never expected that actually.
I didn't expect you to wrap up that quickly.
Yeah. You thought it was gonna be all the way to the. I mean, it's obviously no Liverpool, wrapping it up in EPL, but. Again, certainly did not look like that in the first 4 games of last season.
Definitely, and one of the biggest storylines of last season was the return of Zinedine Zidane, and how important he's a very epitome figure of the current Madrid team, and he's come back, and I think now he won the La Liga last season, right? And this season I'm seeing there's a lot of pressure because they're the defending champions. And I think Zidane's is under a lot of pressure right now.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the sex calls are there, and they're saying Pochettino, they're throwing names in there. But I mean, look, Zidane is so ingrained into the Real Madrid culture that I believe that he will be given a lot longer of a time than previous Real Madrid managers before. Again, Zidane's DNA is not just in the Madrid team, but he's also in the Castilla too. He's critical to get get young blood into the Castilla. I mean, you hear that Mbappe is going off next season.
Yep.
They really want Zidane to be there because Mbappe has clearly outstated that he wants to be playing with Zidane. He wants to learn from Zidane.
Not only him, Pogba as well.
I mean, Pogba is begging to leave for Madrid. I understand why. I mean, it's not just because of the name of the club. Nowadays, the name of the club does not play as much of an influence as the culture that they have in there. It's a similar thing with like sports in the world these days. Culture is everything, and I think Real Madrid has learned it the hard way that having stability does give you dividends. Even don't forget that during the final Cristiano Ronaldo season, it was not that rosy. I mean, yeah, they won the Champions League, but he was effectively already starting his motion to dislodge James Rodriguez and Gareth Bale at that time. But obviously, both of them proved to be pivotal in that season as well. I mean, not James, but Gareth Bale and Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean,
for all the things about it as well, I think the Madrid team has always been associated with European excellence, and definitely Zidane has created that sort of stability with the club when he was in charge for that huge run with the La Decima victories, and then leading up to the La Liga victory as well before he walked away. And so now, like, if we're coming into this season, we're looking at moving forward, right? What do you think they need to prioritize more? Is it the La Liga or is it the Champions League? They need to return back to the Champions League and win it.
I mean, right now, we need to think of it this season, not just Real Madrid per se, but every single club. They're on a stopgap measure. They do not have the funds to acquire the big names. They lack the funding. So I understand that that there's the hesitance in acquiring the big name this year, and they decided, they're going to trust the players that they have in their current book. So it comes back down to them, to shore up the current team. So it really falls on like Hazard and Jovic and Rodrigo, Eden Militao, and Vinicius. Yeah, and as well as the Castilla people, to like Valverde, for example, to really bring it up to a whole new level. So and next season, I think this season, Real Madrid fans would not be so critical of the team, but again, they do not expect to lose to Shakhtar Donetsk.
Shakhtar Donetsk B.
B team.
B team.
I don't even know whether there's a B team or not. I think that looks like a C team, to be honest.
It was like a lot of their subs.
Yeah.
And so like this leads me to an interesting thing, because a lot of the tenure about Zidane, I think, is going to come down to the fact that, one, he's a serial winner. Two, he's a fantastic manager who has brought in a lot of youth players and through the Castilla system as well.
Yeah.
And he's worked with that. But there's a third thing I think that's going to signify his reign, and that is the Gareth Bale saga. Now, I know this is a very tenuous talking point, because I have seen a lot of Madrid fans, the Spanish fans specifically, not happy with Gareth Bale, Wales, golf, and then Madrid in that order, So I don't know but you're a Madrista fan from here, from Malaysia, for example.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that whole Gareth Bale saga and how it went down?
No, we should treat our legends better. That's period. We should have treated Casillas better. We should have treated Cristiano better. I mean, Raul had a pretty good, decent send-off, so it's alright. But we should have treated Gareth Bale better. That's for sure.
But don't you think that, I'm playing devil's advocate here. Don't you think that Bale's actions, the way he never learned how to speak Spanish properly or fully, on the whole golf thing, and then his falling out, the way that it happened with Zidane, and then the Madrid board unwilling to sell Bale because nobody could cough out the money that they needed to buy him. Don't you think that somehow Bale's party plays a role in that treatment, or do you think that's like
I mean, to be honest, it's with the Bale saga at least, the board and Bale had two different mindsets of where they want to go. Bale was going to China last season anyways. They decided to cancel that.
Yeah.
But then this year they thought they could cough up, some clubs would cough up the money for Bale. But I think a lot of clubs would cough up the money if it wasn't for the COVID. You know what I mean? So right now I'm just thinking like how the Bale saga is not ended yet. He could easily come back next year.
You think that he might come back next year?
I think he will come back and be sold again, but
I always thought that loan was an option to buy, no?
Yeah, it is an option to buy. I mean, Bale has it's still too early to tell on how
You think that if he sustains a serious injury, then maybe?
Yeah, again, it's hard to tell on whether Bale will come back or not. It's a fluid situation there. You never know where he's gonna go. But at the end of the day, is that why the fallout between? The question is why the fallout. Then the question is that the answer is very simple. It's like that how he wants a player that's more ingrained into a team passing culture, and with their way more willingness to track back, rather than what they have right now. He also wants a younger team that he can mold into. He obviously, I'm 100% sure Zidane thought Hazard was the answer. You know what I mean? Not just for the Cristiano Ronaldo gap, but also for the Gareth Bale cap as well. That has not panned out as planned, but yeah, that's how it is.
It's interesting, and we can nicely segue into what I like to call what is exactly wrong with Jovic and Hazard. Because I think in Jovic's case, I kind of get it, because it's a positional thing. He's not the exact same type of player or experience as Benzema, maturity-wise and everything, and skill-wise maybe not as good, some might say. But it's Hazard that I'm really surprised that it's not clicked like I thought he would with the team like this.
This is a very sore subject for me right now. But again, two different situations, two different players. Hazard, on the other hand, has, I don't see him as a bad player. Obviously, he's proven himself everywhere he went. But clean, except for Madrid right now.
At the moment, yeah.
Yeah, so Jovic, on the other hand, he's not good enough. That's pretty much it. He should have been sold last season. Not a lot of people want him. They decided. There were rumors and talks. I don't think so they were ever gonna capture the figure that they got for him. Hazard, on the other hand, time will tell.
Time will tell.
Again, right now, he's getting paid a lot of money to eat some cheeseburgers.
That's where I'm saying, what does Madrid do with Hazard? Do you take the obvious route, try and cut your losses now, or do you persist with keeping Hazard on the squad? Real Madrid's one of those teams, when they buy players, they tend to keep players for about 4 seasons, 5 seasons, and then maybe loan them out and try and figure a way, because it's usually really hard to recoup the money you paid for such a player if they don't work out, right? And in this case, I would say, do they persist with Hazard? Because there is a talented player there, in my opinion.
Yeah, you cannot deny that Hazard is a talented player. Like I said, he was shortlisted in Ballon d'Ors before. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
And but the crucial part of Hazard's game is his pace and his willingness to conjure up magic with his right foot,
especially around the box area.
Yeah.
Really
You as a Liverpool fan should know. Right?
Funny.
But the problem that Hazard is facing right now is that he apparently says that this is the crazy part of it, is like he's saying he is always able to gain and lose weight as much as possible. I think it's a metabolism issue as he grows older, that he cannot be able to shed the weight as much as he can.
Break down.
Yeah, he can break it down. So there needs to be a level of discipline that's clearly missing in Hazard's mind right now. And I don't think so he wants this to put a shadow on his career, this Real Madrid tenure.
Yes.
But he needs to be, again, he needs to be back. Let's see what he can do on the pitch. Jovic has been on the pitch and he has been a disappointment so far.
So now, if you're looking at this Madrid team, how it operates, I think in how we've talked about Real Madrid, right? The 3 guys who I always like to point out as being like not the spine, but they're kind of like the makeup of what makes Real Madrid tick, and that's Karim Benzema, Sergio Ramos, and Luka Modric. These 3 guys, pretty much what's the word we use? DNA of this team.
I think there's also a 4th there.
Okay.
Which is our vice captain Marcelo. Yeah.
Okay. So out of this 4, who do you think is the most important player for Real Madrid moving forward? I know we kind of touched on this topic a bit at the previous segment, but like if you're talking about the season as a whole, and you're talking about you're going to compete in multiple competitions here, who's the main guy right now?
There's only Luka Modric is not going to play every single game anymore. That's a given. He's at that crossroad of his tenure.
Yeah.
He's best safe for the bigger games. Benzema and Sergio Ramos is definitely the answer for this. Sergio Ramos, as the millennials would call it, is the spirit animal. Of Real Madrid. If there was a mascot, it would be him right now.
Right.
And Benzema is our poacher, sadly that you know. But
I mean, you can
Benzema,
argue he's a playmaker as well.
Again, probably the reason why Luka Jovic could never step into the Benzema role is because Benzema was molded by Jose Mourinho to be more of a cushion off factor to Cristiano Ronaldo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that as you can see, I mean, this the best example of how Benzema operates is the 3-1 thrashing of Real Madrid in Liverpool against Liverpool in the
I remember that.
is
game.
that Benzema does a lot more than actually just score goals. He does a lot more. It's the same goes for Rooney. He's so right now, I mean, we need Benzema to step it up again. I mean, he has stepped up. So last season, for the first time, I mean, previous years, it was Cristiano's and Lucas and everyone else's reason why they were successful.
Right.
But last year, I mean, the La Liga was won by these two players.
Yeah.
I mean, and the emergence of a few of the youngsters.
I would say they're the pillars of the Madrid title run there.
Yeah.
Especially towards the end, you were seeing these two players with the score sheet players as well. Every game, they would put up 8 out of 10 performances every time around. And it's really incredible how Sergio Ramos is so multifaceted in the game. His free kick taking, his defending, and his ability to push the ball up the field.
Yeah.
All
Even though he
really
makes
impressive,
questionable decisions.
Yeah, I mean he's a life sport.
Yeah. But again, you do not want to take that part out of his game.
Yeah, true. Because then you lack the intensity.
Yeah, I mean, Spain definitely needs a lot of that these days.
They do. Because Sergio Ramos kind of like the heartbeat soul of the team, and then you got your technical players like Thiago's and your Saul Niguez and all these guys. Yeah,
for sure.
So yeah, that's what's amazing. So that's it for this segment, guys. We're gonna move on to the third segment in a bit. As usual, please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And yeah, please like. Apparently, that's what my friends here said in the previous video.
You gotta smash that like button.
Smash it, guys, please. And we'll see you in the flip.